Hey trainers, welcome back to Pokemon Deck Check. I would be PokeDan, and I'm without the Dance Bear, but we can get through it. We can manage. Today, Pokemon TCG Unbroken Bonds. We got a deck profile for you. It's about as consistent as we can make it, so we'll get into that as we go along here. 4 Squirtle, 2 Wartortle, 3 of the Blastoise with the ability, and then 3 Blastoise GX, 2 Vulpix, 2 Ninetales, 1 Lily. Now, the key to this deck is you have to pretty much get 3 Squirtles down. It'd be nice to get all 4 down, but that's very, very difficult, whether prizing or just bad luck of getting them down, because your Squirtle, at least one of them is probably going to get picked off, and that leaves you with just 2. And you need at least an attacker and one with the ability into play to even be effective. It's better if you can have 2 with the ability and then 1 attacker. So we've actually upped the rescue stretcher count because of that. So you don't want to be dependent on rare candy. That's why the 2 Wartortle. You want to streamline them, and we have thought about adding a 3rd, but instead we added the 2nd rescue stretcher instead. We figured a 2nd rescue stretcher would be more versatile than adding a 3rd Wartortle or something like that. So, Ninetales, you are going to be grabbing rare candy, timer ball, or poke comp. Your forms of search is going to be your main priority getting set up. Ideally, you want Vulpix in the active and use Beacon, and you just have to accept that you're going to go down in prizes, either a Squirtle or Vulpix, starting from turn 2, so you're already down in prizes. Then 1 Lele, just in case you don't want to have a dead hand. We have lots of ways to grab Lele, so you definitely don't want to be stuck in a bad situation to where you don't have a supporter. For those of y'all don't know, the ability is to reveal the top 6, I believe, and any water you find there, you can attach it to your Pokemon any way you like. Blastoise GX's ability reduces damage by 30. So essentially you have basically like 270 HP. You are weak to grass, so Buzzwole Pheromosa is going to be an issue. So that's definitely a concern going forward. I don't know how good Buzzwole and Pheromosa is going to be, because there are going to be really good fire decks going forward. So Blastoise could be a very good meta call. Alright, forms of search. We've got the 4 Ultra Ball, 2 Nest Ball, 2 Poke Comp, and a Timer Ball. So lots of search. Definitely looking to get down a ton of Squirtle on turn 1 and a Vulpix. We do play a heavy count of Brooklet Hill to help out with that. So, and then the rest of the items, you just have 4 rare candy, 2 choice band, and the 2 rescue stretchers I've already covered. So very, very streamlined for consistency. Not any techs. Okay, it's a stage 2. You're having to set up multiple stage 2s without the help of like Zoroark. So it's very, very difficult. And there's not enough room to run like a Swampert line to keep the draw going either, unfortunately, because you need so many other stage 2s to make the strategy work. We found Lily, a heavier count of Lily, to be better A lot of times you have rare candy in your hand and you don't want to like shuffle it in, so you just kind of lily for more. 3 Cynthia and 3 Guzma. I mean, it's just that is super consistent in that regards. Could see a Reds challenge where you discard 2 to find 1, but that's just not, at the end of the day, that's not giving you enough value, honestly, as your supporter. It's better to draw cards. The addition of 9-tails also helps you thin so that you have a better chance of hitting waters with Blastoise's ability. So, then like I said, 3 Brooklet Hill, you got to go hard. You got to get Vulpix and at least 2 Squirtles into play. Ideally, you want 3 Squirtles and a Vulpix. So, we have thought about Elm, but again, that's just not getting you all the things you need. So we've gone the route of more search than like a turn 1 Elm based, because then that for sure probably puts Lele on the bench. You know, you don't want to put Lele on the bench unless you're kind of in a bad spot. Energy, you got 4, 8, 12, 13. I wouldn't go any lower because you are going to have to discard some at some point, or if Pokemon get knocked out, they're going to get discarded. So 13's a good mix. Let you hit some, you want to hit, you know, just to put it in perspective, you want to have attach for turn and then hit at least 3 waters off of your Blastoise with ability. At least 2, because that gives you, if you shuffle all 3, that gives you 180 damage. And then Choice Band 210. So the more Blastoise with abilities you have set up, the easier it's going to be to take knockouts. So that's the strategy you have to have in mind going forward with this deck, is you just have to get as much as possible set up as quick as possible. I know that's very, very touche, but I mean, that's how we built this deck. Because if you can't get set up, then you're just going to auto lose, is the reality. This deck is wildly inconsistent, as you might guess, from playing 2 different stage 2s. But playing the same Pokemon line does help it being 2 stage 2s. So it's not like you're playing 2 completely different stage 2s. So, but it's a lot of fun to play. Is it competitive? I don't think so, folks. It's definitely rogue. Maybe if you spent a month solid tweaking the list, dialing it in perfectly, then maybe you could get it somewhat competitive. But right now, I think if there is going to be more fire decks, then I think going the route of Kyurem with like Quagsire is going to be a better option. But even that, I don't like that, because Paralyze your opponent's Pokemon isn't as strong as it used to be. There's way too many Guzmas. Everyone's playing Switch and Escape Rope, so the strength of Kyurem's attack to Paralyze isn't. It's very underwhelming at this point right now where we are in the meta. I do see water decks being very, very effective, because Blaziken is really good and Charizard is really good. And I can see like one prize decks with Volcanion, Blaziken, that sort of stuff slowly coming into the fold of being popular and really good also. So if you can figure out a nice water deck, then I think you're going to be in a good spot going forward in the meta. And that's the one good thing about Kyurem, is it's not weak to grass. So it's something to think about. But that's all I got. Sorry for rambling there. I'm just trying to give as much information as possible. I believe we have to do one more deck profile on Gardevoir, and then we'll jump into some tournaments. But we might build Curum. It'd be nice to have a actually good water deck to go against some of these fire decks. So I'll have to talk it over with the Dancing Bear, but we sure have to do the Gardevoir deck profile, and then we may not do the Curum deck. We may hold off till tournament 2. I don't know. I'll just have to see where he's at. So that's all for now. So till next time, be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes.